Lights fade to black, the crowd still buzzing from the chaos of Survivor Series War Games, and the entire WWE universe trying to process a night that felt more like a collision of nightmare and spectacle than a scripted event. But just when fans thought the violence was contained inside the steel cage, a new threat emerged backstage after the show went off the air, turning celebration into confusion and triumph into fear as news erupted that a masked attacker had struck again, this time choosing CM Punk as the target, the World Heavyweight Champion, the battered survivor who believed the War Games chapter had closed, only to realize his personal war is far from over. Reports began circulating instantly, whispers spreading through corridors and group chats that the same hooded figure who cost Punk the War Games match might already be preparing to strike once again on Monday Night Raw, raising the question every fan keeps replaying: who is the attacker? Why Punk? And what does this do to the balance of trust, power, and vulnerability within the WWE locker room? Tonight we break down every detail, every clue, and every tremor shaking the foundation of WWE as we rewind and relive Survivor Series War Games 2025, a brutal spectacle where Punk joined forces with Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, and Jimmy Uso to face the monstrous heel squad of Brock Lesnar, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, and Drew McIntyre in a relentless, blood-soaked fight inside a cage designed to settle scores but instead opened the door to mystery. Just when Punk seemed poised for a heroic comeback, a hooded figure scaled the cage wall with unsettling precision, stormed into the ring, delivered a brutal superkick followed by a vicious stomp, and changed the entire direction of the match in a matter of seconds, allowing Breaker to spear Punk, take the pin, and secure a win for the heel team while the masked intruder disappeared into the shadows, leaving questions, theories, and panic behind. Immediately the internet exploded with speculation, some insisting the moves looked familiar, others dismissing those theories and pointing toward a deeper swerve, but the biggest twist came when insider reports suggested that the attacker may have already been identified, with many sources naming Austin Theory as the hidden saboteur, a former U.S. champion who had been off television for weeks, now rumored to be re-entering the scene with a shocking, high-impact return designed to place him at the center of chaos. If Theory is indeed the masked figure, the implications are massive. Punk's trust in the system fractures, locker room alliances shift, paranoia spreads through hallways and dressing rooms, and the War Games result becomes tainted by a betrayal that threatens both the champion's momentum and the stability of the entire roster. And what's even more chilling is that multiple reports claim the attacker isn't finished, that a second strike may be coming on the next episode of Raw, with Punk potentially walking right into a trap set by someone who knows how to strike when the lights are low and the crowd least expects it. But why Punk? Why now? The answer lies not just in championship gold but in Punk's symbolic power. His grit, rebellion, and refusal to conform to anyone's control makes him a threat to any rising heel faction, especially one potentially orchestrated by someone like Paul Heyman, who thrives in the shadows of manipulation. For a returning star like Theory, there's no bolder statement than declaring yourself the man who shattered Punk's comeback and sparked a new era of chaos, painting him as a villain with purpose and giving Punk a new mountain to climb, layered with vengeance, distrust, and psychological warfare. As Raw approaches, several scenarios loom. The masked man could ambush Punk again, possibly mid-promo. He could unmask himself and cut a career-defining challenge. WWE could swerve fans with an entirely different name, or Punk could slip into a weeks-long investigation, hunting the truth through backstage encounters and misdirection, building tension slowly until the reveal detonates. For YouTube coverage, this storyline is a goldmine, perfect for breaking news reactions, detailed breakdowns of the Survivor Series finish, top suspect countdowns, slow-motion replay analyses of the attack, speculation graphics, theory compilations, and community discussions fueled by comment sections that ignite engagement and push videos deep into the algorithm, driving speculation, debate, and emotional investment. This mystery is more than an angle. It signals a shift in WWE's direction toward darker, unpredictable storytelling full of fear, suspense, and psychological strategy that blurs the lines between storyline and reality, potentially opening doors to new feuds, elevated mid-card stars, surprise returns, and a refreshed sense of danger within the product. As fans look ahead, they should watch for subtle backstage behavior, promo hints, commentary clues, unannounced returns, and those eerie moments where the lights dim just enough to suggest the attacker could strike again. Raw could be one of the most important episodes of 2025, one that redefines Punk's legacy, reshapes WWE's power dynamics, and pulls fans deeper into a mystery designed to hook every viewer. In the end, this masked assault isn't just about violence, it's about betrayal, fear, and the fragile trust holding the locker room together, and Punk now stands at the center of a storm that threatens his title, his relationships, and his mindset. The next chapter will determine whether Punk rises, breaks, or transforms under the weight of this hidden enemy. As the world watches, the looming questions remain: will the masked attacker strike again? Will Punk fight back? And when the mask finally comes off, will the truth be even more shocking than the attack itself? Stay tuned, stay locked in, and keep your theories ready, because this mystery is far from over and the next twist may hit harder than anyone expects. Lights dim, the audience buzzing from the aftermath of Survivor Series War Games, as the entire WWE universe struggles to comprehend a night that seemed like a clash between fantasy and dread rather than an orchestrated performance. However, just when spectators believed the aggression was contained within the confines of the steel cage, a fresh menace appeared backstage once the broadcast concluded, transforming an atmosphere of celebration into one of disarray and triumph into trepidation as reports surfaced of a masked assailant making another move, this time selecting CM Punk as the victim, the reigning World Heavyweight Champion, who had endured much and thought the War Games saga was finished, only to come to the realization that his personal battles are far from concluding. News began to flow rapidly, rumors circulating among hallways and social media chats that the same cloaked figure who had sabotaged Punk's War Games bout might be gearing up to strike again during Monday Night Raw, prompting the query every fan is replaying in their minds: who is this attacker? Why target Punk? And how does this impact the balance of trust, authority, and vulnerability in the WWE locker room? This evening, we will dissect every element, every hint, and every tremor disrupting the foundation of WWE as we rewind and experience Survivor Series War Games 2025, a ferocious display where Punk allied with Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, and Jimmy Uso to confront the formidable heel faction of Brock Lesnar, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, and Drew McIntyre in an unyielding, blood-drenched confrontation inside a cage meant for settling disputes but instead opened the door to enigma. Just when Punk appeared ready for a heroic turn, a cloaked figure scaled the cage with unsettling agility, stormed the ring, executed a brutal superkick and a harsh stomp, swiftly altering the match's momentum, enabling Breaker to spear Punk, secure the pinfall, and deliver a victory for the heel squad while the masked intruder vanished into obscurity, leaving behind a trail of questions, theories, and anxiety. Immediately, social media flooded with speculation, with some asserting that the moves appeared familiar, while others dismissed these ideas in favor of a more convoluted twist, but the most significant surprise emerged when insider sources proposed that the attacker may have already been recognized, with numerous reports pointing to Austin Theory as the concealed disruptor, a former U.S. champion who had been absent from television for several weeks and is now rumored to be making a shocking, impactful comeback designed to thrust him back into the chaos. If Theory is, in fact, the concealed figure, the ramifications are enormous. Punk's faith in the system fractures, alliances within the locker room shift, and paranoia engulfs the corridors and dressing rooms, while the War Games outcome becomes tainted by a betrayal that risks both the champion's momentum and the equilibrium of the entire roster. Equally unsettling is the information from multiple sources suggesting that this assailant is not done yet, with a potential second strike looming on the horizon for the next episode of Raw, indicating that Punk may unwittingly walk into a trap meticulously set by someone who understands how to strike when the lights are dim and the audience is least prepared. But why Punk? Why at this moment? The answer may lie not merely in championship titles but in Punk's symbolic significance. His resilience, defiance, and refusal to be controlled by anyone poses a significant threat to any ascendant heel faction, particularly one possibly orchestrated by a manipulative figure like Paul Heyman. For a revived star like Theory, there is no greater proclamation than positioning himself as the one who derailed Punk's comeback and ignited a fresh wave of turmoil, casting him as a villain with intent and presenting Punk with a new challenge laden with vengeance, distrust, and psychological strife. As Raw draws near, numerous possibilities come to mind. The masked individual could ambush Punk again, perhaps during a promo. They could reveal their identity and issue a career-defining challenge. WWE might shock fans by presenting an entirely different character, or Punk may engage in an extended investigation, searching for the truth through backstage interactions and misleading cues, gradually escalating tension until the reveal explodes. For YouTube commentary, this storyline is a treasure trove, ideal for immediate news reactions, comprehensive analyses of the Survivor Series conclusion, countdowns of leading suspects, slow-motion replays of the attack, speculative graphics, theory roundups, and community engagement fueled by comment sections that spark discussions and propel videos deep into algorithms, fostering speculation, debate, and viewer engagement. This mystery transcends mere storyline. It heralds a shift in WWE's narrative approach towards darker, unpredictable storytelling imbued with fear, suspense, and psychological tactics that blur the lines between fiction and reality, potentially laying the groundwork for new rivalries, the rise of mid-card stars, surprise comebacks, and an enhanced atmosphere of danger throughout the product. As fans gaze forward, they should pay attention to subtle backstage interactions, promo references, commentary hints, unannounced returns, and those chilling moments when the lights dim enough to imply that the assailant may strike once more. Raw could represent one of the defining episodes of 2025, one that redefines Punk's legacy, reshapes the power dynamics in WWE, and draws fans deeper into a mystery crafted to captivate every viewer. Ultimately, this masked attack isn't solely about violence, it encompasses betrayal, anxiety, and the fragile trust binding the locker room, with Punk now at the eye of a storm that jeopardizes his championship, his relationships, and his mental state. The forthcoming chapter will reveal whether Punk ascends, collapses, or evolves under the burden imposed by this concealed adversary. As the world watches, the pressing questions linger: will the masked assailant strike again? Will Punk retaliate? And when the mask is finally removed, will the reality be even more shocking than the initial assault? Remain attentive, remain engaged, and keep your theories at the ready, for this enigma is far from concluded, and the next turn might hit harder than anyone anticipates.